A country in mourning. As the victims are commemorated, many wonder what the future holds. Despite their anguish, Norwegians are not calling for revenge, draconian punishment, or more police. They're refusing to let the massacre compromise their commitment to democracy and tolerance. At the Norwegian embassy in Berlin, there has been an outpouring of sympathy from Germans. But in contrast to Norway, some German government politicians are demanding increased surveillance and security in order to prevent a similar attack happening here.
This
act was committed by a lone culprit, but was born on the internet. If the internet becomes a crime scene, the government has to deal with it. How do we locate those inciting hatred? The only answer is data retention.
Data retention means data on all internet connections and all phone calls being stored centrally for 6 months. But the junior coalition partners, the Free Democrats, doubt this would prevent an attack like in Norway.
In this case, where it was about one individual, I do not have the impression that data retention would have helped. There don't tend to be phone calls or emails between a lone perpetrator and himself.
Daniel Köhler researches radicalism. His main area of expertise is right-wing extremism on the internet.
I don't think the response models discussed until now, like data retention and internet surveillance, are particularly effective. They're more spontaneous reactions than sensible considerations. The right-wing movement was already being very closely monitored in Norway. The security forces have a very good picture of what right-wing extremists are up to online, and we've seen that it didn't work.
Shortly before the twin attacks, the killer posted a manifesto on the internet and sent it to extremists across the world. In it, he not only justified his actions, but called on others to emulate him. The primary factors that unites us is that we are all nationalists, anti-Marxist, anti-Islamization. We support indigenous rights, and we are revolutionary, willing to martyr ourselves.
He clearly says in the manifesto that he has a marketing strategy. His real target, as I understand it, is making this ideology, this manifesto, famous at a single stroke. This attack was the high point for him, and he was totally aware that from then on his manifesto would be read and debated across the world, in the media, among politicians, and would get massive exposure on the internet.
The ultra-right counterculture is alive and well on the internet. Extremists can exchange ideas in forums and blogs, and easily post videos promoting their views. One thing they all have in common is a hatred of foreigners and Islam. German Social Democrat Sebastian Edati has been combating right-wing extremism on the net for years. Certain websites regularly declare him to be an enemy. He's received death threats.
You see an increasing number of people developing anti-democratic ideas. They're out to vilify an entire religious group. And I can certainly imagine a mentally unstable person getting encouragement from these forums and blogs, and possibly seeing himself as the person to take action. It's often a very small step from hate speech to a hate crime.
I think parts of this manifesto are definitely going to show up in other groups as well. We'll find experiments with this kind of ideology, this Christian cultural war, the crusade against Islam, the defense of Europe against this occupation, as he calls it. We're bound to find that in the right-wing extremist ideology.
It will take time for life to return to normal in Norway. The world shares the country's sorrow and struggle with issues of terrorism and xenophobia.